Sea Otter Classic 2023 was an absolute whirlwind of new products. Almost every other tent had something brand new. So stick with me as I look over the event and figure out if there were any emerging trends, and we sweep up a few things that we missed. If you saw our Sea Otter Classic Day 1, Day 2 and Day 3 special, you'll know that there was so much new product. But beyond those tents, there were a lot of big names, a lot of pros racing. I was stood in a queue, I saw Brian Lopes, Gary Fisher, Troy Lee, Paul Basagosha walk past me in the matter of 5 minutes. So I grabbed a few athletes to ask them what they thought the hottest tech was at Sea Otter Classic. Okay, I'm here with Jill Kittner here, who's obviously an amazing racer, and you're racing this weekend, but I want to know about tech. So what's the hottest tech at Sea Otter?
Yeah, there's a lot of tech out here, but in my world, the latest tech for me is the Forge and Bond rims. It's a new fusion fiber material, so it's basically a thermoplastic, and it's like has no scrap material. Like everything goes back into recycling. You can reuse it over and over again. It's strong. It's got some really amazing ride characteristics as well. Like it has some carbon feel, but with a little more damping and like compliance on the trail. I don't know, it feels great. Like you can notice it like in really pingy sections, whatever. So for me, I'm really excited for the possibilities of what fusion fiber can bring to the bike industry. Like it could be a game changer in the future, and it's really incredible. And the tire levers are like designed too, so they just have some good some good engineering power behind this brand, and like made in the US. So I don't know, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited too. I'm so good to see them launching.
Yeah.
Hans Ray, you need no introduction, but tell me, what is the hottest thing at Sea Otter at the moment?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff here. There's a lot of brands here. I got to try out the new Shimano EP801, which is the new e-bike system with the free shift and the auto shift. That's really interesting. For the first time, they had demo bikes, and we got to try it out with a few people today. So that was cool.
Yeah, I agree. I want to try that out. I can't wait until that comes to the mountain biking world, let alone the MTB world.
Yeah, it's a whole new thing, that it shifts automatically for you. And of course, you have all these settings. Like you can also do it manually, or you can override it. You can shift like 5 gears, like when almost standing still, without pedaling. So all that stuff is kind of opened up new opportunities.
Hans, thank you so much. Kyle, I'm asking athletes what the hottest thing is at Sea Otter 2023. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. What is it?
Well, it'd be tough not to say this, but I just we unveiled my slalom scarf right here. It's fully custom painted. That thing is hot right now, so I'm really excited about it.
What's the story with Natural Light? Now, I know they're a sponsor of yours, but why Natural Light? I heard a rumor you've been pestering them since you were 14 as a sponsor.
Yeah, well, technically not 14, but
No.
No, what's funny? It's just kind of a long-time joke. I guess I just never grew up on my beer drinking choices, but they surprised me with this. I had honestly no idea about it, so it's really cool. It's cool to bring on that prestigious kind of vibe to it.
Ace, thanks so much, Kyle. Good luck with the year.
Thank you.
Nico, what is the hottest thing, the hottest tech here at Sea Otter 2023?
Yeah, we're here at the Five Dev booth, and one of the coolest things they made is these new titanium crank arms. Five Dev is part of a parent company, Fifth Axis CNC Machining, and they're all made in San Diego. All made in-house. So these cranks, to me, are an example of how complex they can make CNC pieces, and the owners are really proud to show what they can actually make. And I don't think a lot of places could do that process in titanium. So it's a really cool piece, and there's a lot of performance in it, and I think it's awesome to see people taking that much love for mountain biking and putting that into the parts they make.
Annika, Sea Otter 2023, what's the hottest tech here, in your opinion?
Well, the hottest tech here is this brand new bike wrap we got. Super stoked on this, so it's so cool what we can do nowadays with bike wraps. I collaborated with somebody, a local artist in Bentonville. Bentonville, as you guys know, it's all about art and riding bikes. So put the two together, put it on a wrap. Bike wraps in Bentonville did a fantastic job. So I think that's the hottest tech right there.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. Okay, Ella and Iago, congratulations on your engagement. Now the power couple of Enduro, are you, I believe? I just want to know, what do you think is the hottest tech of Sea Otter?
The new SRAM transmission for sure.
Really? Yeah. There's a new transmission? I've not heard.
Oh, come on.
Iago, what do you think?
I mean, I might be a bit biased, but I think the new Smith goggle, the rhythm goggle, is a specific mountain bike goggle, and I was happy to work with them on designing the graphics on this one specifically. So I think it's really good tech, but very good looking tech as well. So I think this is the award-winning one for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I feel like I've done the news for 3 days in a row at Sea Otter Classic because obviously there was so much new stuff. So if you've watched the shows, you know that Propane have released the new Tie-E. They've updated the cable routing mainly. They've got stainless steel bearings in their headset and even collaborated with a stem manufacturer, Sixpack, in order to seal up that front end and make it more durable. Also, Specialized released their Epic World Cup, which is effectively a 75mm rear suspension bike with 110 mils of travel on the front, completely bucking the trends that we've seen in World Cup brands where they're moving towards 120 mils of suspension, and these guys are going back with less. Also, Maxxis have released their Max Speed compound for cross-country and down-country tyres, and then Vittoria have released their race compound for enduro and trail tyres. And then not forgetting Yeti's new SB135, proving that 27.5 inch ain't dead yet with their new short travel trail bike. So do check that out. Now, I promised you some trends that I saw. Obviously, downhill bikes were a big thing. We had the new nuke-proof Descent Carbon there. We also had Yeti making that prototype downhill bike. We had Revel making a 3D printed or additively manufactured carbon thermoplastic frame as well. Not to mention Poly making their famous CNC machined frames bonded together. And their 10th anniversary bike was a downhill bike. So yeah, definitely downhill bikes making a comeback in the world. Also, I think suspension has never been so good, and it's still getting better every year. We had the Fox Float, which is now a little lighter for trail bikes. We've also got the even lighter still Fox Float SL for cross country and down country. Not to mention Cane Creek bringing out that Work Series helm, which was proof that they need something between cross-country and trail. So they merged the WS130 with the helm, and they come out with this limited run of a beautiful Work Series helm. And then Push Industries brought out their first ever fork. And obviously, being big fans of the motor racing and motorcycle world and being engineers in that background, they've brought motorcycle technology to the mountain biking world with that inverted fork. And I can't wait to see what's inside of it because they wouldn't tell us just yet. But inverted forks are really making a breakthrough in the mountain biking world. We saw those bright racing forks a lot, which were handmade in Italy with custom stanchions for every different rider. And of course, we saw EXT still doing their coil range and adding an air shock to the rear because they said, well, there was still things missing in the current world that they wanted to add, and that dual valve system just eliminated the faff with spacers and opening up the shocks. So yeah, it's good to see more companies thinking about solving issues that we've had in the past and making great things even better. We also spotted Kyle Straight's bike was on the stand at Vitus, and he had these anodized or marble anodized red calipers with the old code levers, and they kind of look like codes, but they were slightly different, and they had a bolted on cover, which could be SRAM's answer to Shimano's fins. in terms of drawing in air and cooling down the calipers and rotors, or it could just be a dirt cover, who knows? But there's something in the works here. Now SRAM have obviously just released the Code Ultimate for cross country and the Code Silver for trail. Are these going to be the Code Reds specifically for downhill? Just a little bit of speculation there. And then a few new things we couldn't quite squeeze into the Sea Otter Classic specials. Here's something from Park Tools and Pro Logo, all the P's. So I'm in the Park Tool tent today with Eric Hawkins, owner and senior chief mechanic, obviously. And you've got your 60th anniversary party shirt on. So what are you celebrating here today?
Well, 60 years ago, Park Tool was launched out of the back of a bike shop.
Yeah.
So 1963. And here we are, 600 tools later.
Yeah, and you've got some new tools to add to the mix. What have you got?
Right, always new tools. This year at Sea Otter, we're launching a new brush set, which is a Tampico brush set. And Tampico is valuable in a few different ways. It doesn't hold the dirt or the grease, easily cleaned. They're going to last a lot longer. It's a natural product derived from the agave plant. And as I was told, it's the leftover after they use that for tequila.
So I expect the leftover tequila in the post, right?
We didn't get the byproducts, but we got the Tampico. So that's a whole brush set. We make another brush set as well, but this one would be a more professional use. So both of our bleed kits have been updated. So obviously hydraulic brakes, always changing. We've got some on the mineral bleed kit, we've got some new fittings, 4mm fitting. We now fit Campanola, trick stuff, the new SRAM. We updated it with new 11mm bleed blocks and an extra syringe holder. We had one in there, but now some people like to push and pull, so you get an extra holder for the syringes. And then our internal cable routing system, we added another cable. We're able to do more things. It's a new, smaller Shimano fitting, so we include that in there. And that is the IR 1.3. The bleed kits are BKM and BKD 1.2, so updated versions. And then this is an interesting tool. It's basically for crimping cable ends and housing caps. And so there's two different sizes on there, but it's a dedicated tool. A lot of people use a cable cutter, but this will put a nice round crimp on it. And the cool thing about it is right on the end, it's got a spot to crimp a cable end cap. Sometimes you can't quite get in there with a full plier, so you can come in the end and squeeze it and then make a nice round crease on it.
Excellent. Well, happy 60th to you guys,
thank
and
you.
Thanks for being a partner on the channel because we love you.
All right, great. Thank you.
So the Pro Logo Scratch is a series of saddles for off-road, but new, just released, is the Scratch NDR, and this is specific to marathon XC riders and those who are really keen on climbing. They've changed the shape a little bit, but they've also got these two zones where it's completely different foam in each zone, so there's more support at the rear with the two areas that hold the sit bones and offer proper support so that your hips don't rock. And then there's a much softer foam in the front with a flatter profile so that you can really push on those climbs, sit forward on those steep climbs as well. And this will be offered in 140 centimeters as standard in a lightweight package. So check that out if you're big on climbing. Okay, it's quiz time. So we met Kyle Straight in the Vitus tent. And first question for you is, how old was Kyle Straight when he first entered Rampage? If you're watching the specials, you'll know I gave the answer. We also saw Brendon's Seminox bike in the SRAM tent. Question 2 is, he recently won something outside of mountain biking. Do you know what that is? And question number 3, what's so special about these Reynolds wheels that I'm showing you on the screen right now, apart from the fact they're really mucky? Okay, it's comments time from you lovely people. Starting off with Michaeli Salaud says, that Andretti reactor made me feel like setting off fireworks and grilling hot dogs while listening to Kid Rock. It also gave me a mullet. Yeah, almost gave me a mullet as well. But that nuke-proof reactor with the full glitter American flag, honestly, it looks stunning. MTBR of SoCal says, that propane looks sick. I've already been eyeballing it as my next bike, but now I'm convinced this will be. Yeah, the Tyee looked really nice actually, and we didn't show it, but the aluminium version just looked like an absolute wrecker, like solid and really utilitarian in a green, so check that out as well. So CE says, Gwyn's mechanic is spot on with everything he says. As an engineer, swapping Allen key sizes for multiple bolts is annoying as hell. Yeah, you know, I appreciate companies like Canyon who use the same Allen key size on all of their bolts, on the stems and the headset. Is just like really useful, a thing you appreciate if you actually work on your bike. Joshua Dagger Home Account says, Sea Otter looks awesome, Anna. Love the content. That prototype Yeti DH bike looks like a ripper. Yeah, it absolutely does. I'm not going to be surprised if they actually bring that to production, but they haven't said they will yet. Jeff Riley says, it's about time the bicycles catch up with the motorcycle industry since these dang bikes cost more than the motorcycles. Yeah, okay, so Push Industries brought out an inverted fork. We saw some stuff from Bright as well. So yeah, the motorcycle industry is starting to influence us, and about time too. Finally, from Jeff Goins says, love the new Epic, reminds me of the Trek Caliber. Hardtails have my heart right now, but that bit of compliance while still riding like a hardtail is awesome. Yeah, I agree. I hear so many good things about that Trek Super Caliber, and I love a hardtail, so I'm absolutely in love with something that's between an Epic hardtail and an Epic full sus. Why not? So for top mods this week, I'm going to throw it back to Sea Otter, as we didn't have time to get these two bikes into the specials, but they were absolutely stunning, so check these out. So this is Brendon Semenuk's Trek session here in the SRAM RockShox tent. Obviously was running that at Rampage last year, and the interesting things here is that it's a mini mixed wheel in that it's got a 26-inch rear wheel and a 27.5 front, and then SRAM have custom made this SRAM XX1 derailleur with the little mini short cage to match that small wheel in the back. And a couple of interesting details up here up the front is obviously Semenuk likes to do a few bar spins and a few tricks, so he's got this rear brake cable running around the stem, and it looks like the spacers under the stem is created by a cut-off debonair shaft, I think. And he's running, interestingly, the old codes, the SRAM codes up here as brakes. Perhaps he prefers the feel on those, but it's just a gorgeous looking bike, and I thought I had to stop and have a look. So you've got your Enduro bike here, but this is modified for downhill, isn't it? So what have you done?
This is my Enduro bike, but it's got a few updates. You change the gearing, change the tires for this downhill. It's not really a downhill, it's like pretty pedally, but you want to roll fast, so yeah. This is my day-to-day bike that I just put a 45 tooth and a lighter rolling, faster rolling Ardent on the back. Some EXO tires, so that's really all you got to do for Sea Otter downhill is just make it roll faster and have enough gearing. Leave the dropper on because why not?
Yeah, why not? Amazing. Good luck with that. And finally, time for those quiz answers. So Kyle Strait started Red Bull Rampage at the tender age of 14 years old. Would you believe it? Also, Brendon Semenuk of Rampage fame. He has recently won something outside of mountain biking. Do you know what it is? He was first place overall in the 2023 American Rally Association Championship. I mean, it was only his second year. It was unbelievable racing from him. And what's so special about those Reynolds wheels that I showed you, aside from the fact that they were covered in muck. They came from the Enduro factory team, straight from the end of a season, and they have absolutely every single round of EWS sticker on that wheel, which means those carbon wheels ran all year, no problems, which I think is worth pointing out because everyone is always so critical of carbon, and it just goes to show a decent pair that are well made will last. Anyway, that's all we have time for today, but do check out day 1, day 2 and day 3 of Sea Otter Classic if you haven't seen it already. Thanks for watching.